If you remember yesterday, we got a little bit of a glance of some chrome. Now, how about this Indy car? Yeah, SEMA's not all about passenger cars. There's some race cars involved as well. Now, do you want to know how crowded it's getting here at SEMA? They couldn't find a place for this one. They just hung it from the ceiling upside down. I ran into another old buddy here at SEMA, my old buddy Ray Evernham. Of course, we competed against each other for a number of years in the Sprint Cup Series, and now, just like myself, Ray's doing the broadcast work for ESPN. But one reason he's out here at SEMA is you just look at this Plymouth right here. Ray and his fabricators, they took a chassis, the frame, the roll cage that was actually raced in a Daytona 500 a few years ago by Patrick Carpentier, and they put this Plymouth body on it. The engine under the hood is an actual Sprint Cup Series engine. Now, the reason Ray built this car is it's going to go to Barrett-Jackson the first part of the year and be auctioned off for some great causes for kids. Now, remember, not like in the past, you don't have to be at Barrett-Jackson to bid on this car. You can actually bid on this car online. Wouldn't this be cool to tootle around the neighborhood in? You know, 30-something years ago when I first came in the Sprint Cup Series, if you wanted to try to duplicate a part that you really liked, it was almost impossible to duplicate. And I think back to our cylinder head guys. They would get in a room with a grinder, and they would grind maybe for days just to get that cylinder head flowing just like they wanted it, and they almost could never duplicate it. But along about the early 90s, we started getting a CNC machine, and we've got one here from Mazak, and they would put a cylinder head in there, punch a program in on the keyboard, and in about 3 to 4 hours, you would have the exact cylinder head that you were looking for, and you could duplicate it with the next one and the next one. I just keep bumping into friends here at SEMA. I just found Kristen Beat, Miss Sprint Cup, and Kristen and I hang out together periodically at the racetrack at the Sprint Experience. Kristen, 3 races to go before this championship. What's your early prediction? Who's going to win this championship?
Gosh, I feel like a lot of people have said Jimmie Johnson. Obviously, right now he has a 2-point lead over Brad Keselowski. And going into the final few races, Brad and Jimmie have kind of set a great gap between Casey and Clint and Denny. But I really feel like in the next few races, Clint Bowyer has been so consistent in Texas that he might be one of those drivers who could slip in and mix things up a little bit between the top 2. But if I were betting my house, I'd say Jimmie Johnson 5 times. He's going to make it a 6th, and I feel like this is the year to do it. So.
All right, Larry Mack's going to go way out on the end of a limb. When this is all over with, we're either going to have a 6-time champion or a first-time champion. How about gambling on that? You know, Larry Mack is from Birmingham, Alabama, where in the summer, if the temperature is 90 degrees, I can almost assure you that the humidity is not far behind. If you look at me on a hot, humid day, I'm sweating like Mike Tyson at a spelling bee. I've been looking for a way to keep cool for years, and let's just say I've been around a while. Well, I think I finally found it here at SEMA. I think I'm just going to get me a big-ass fan. As we've roamed around SEMA, I've talked about all the things that are so important. Horsepower, a nice paint job. And remember, I talked about the tunage. Got to have the speaker system. But how about lights? Now, this puts a whole new meaning to a light show. Now, my wife and I, we just celebrated our 29th anniversary, and I've been struggling what to get her for our anniversary. Is she not going to be surprised when she comes home and I have every one of these type of lights on her car? Look at this 1932 Ford, but the thing that caught my eye, how about the paint scheme on it? Flames. DW says you have to have flames, and DW loves flames. In fact, if he saw this, I bet he'd go boogity, boogity, boogity. I've been walking around here for a day and a half, and I found something for the first time I have not seen at SEMA. An empty booth. With all the different paint schemes and all the different sponsors that the Sprint Cup Series team has over the course of a season, they were about to wear the painters out, painting different schemes on the car every single week. The thing about it, every time they paint that race car, it'd get a little bit heavier. So a few years ago, teams did the simple thing. They started wrapping their cars. You could wrap it in about 4 hours and pull the wrap right off. Definitely a lot easier process. What I'm seeing here at SEMA, we're starting to see guys wrap passenger cars, which could be a thing of the future. And you know what? As I walked by this booth and I looked at this wrap, I think Larry Mack might have to get him one of these wraps. It's the end of day 2 here at SEMA in Las Vegas, and I've made my way back to the Jotech Motorsports and Slick 50 display here with Keiko and with Luna. And by the way, you scream, I scream, we all scream for ice cream, right?
Yeah!
All right. Now, we're gonna quit a little early because why? What's tonight?
Halloween.
Halloween. Minnie Mouse? Is that what we're gonna be? Okay. You're gonna be good and behave, right?
Maybe.
Oh, perfect. What are you gonna be?
I'm a nerd.
A nerd? I thought maybe it was a school teacher look
That
you had going on
too.
there. All right.
Yeah.
Remember, what did we learn yesterday? Pour it in, pour it on.
Yeah, that. Pour it in, pour it on.